Hi, everybody. Welcome. Come on in. We are very excited to have you today. This is our final webinar this spring in this series on tackling behaviors that challenge us. My name is Rachel Hutchison. I am the Senior Manager of Online Instructional Design here at the Academy at NHSA, where we provide high quality, Head Start focused professional development for everyone in Head Start. And that includes classroom teachers and coaches and anyone who works with kids. So we're very excited to have you here today so that we can speak with our experts about tackling behaviors that challenge us by stating your needs. So before we get into that, just a couple housekeeping notes. Everybody's on mute. As always, you're welcome to put questions in the chat. We're going to answer them as best we can throughout. This is usually a pretty highly engaged group, and we love to have your questions, so please do feel free to throw those in there. We are recording this session. The recording and any resources we mentioned will be available in a follow-up email. Your certificate of completion will be sent in an email as well. That is available for those who attend live. So we're happy that you're here today. And without further ado, we have our wonderful speakers with us today. Always a pleasure to be in a webinar with Dr. Deb Bergeron, known to all of us as Dr. B, formerly the Director of the Office of Head Start and now the Deputy Director of Innovation and Community Engagement here at NHSA. And Ron Schwally, a regular speaker at our Head Start conferences, a favorite of the field, and creator of the Yogarati and Behavior Mastery Systems. So let's get into it. Today, we are talking about tackling challenging behaviors by stating your needs. And we do mean your needs. And also using kinesthetic teaching. We're going to get into that in just a second. But first, let's talk about needs. Kids are pretty free to tell us what they want, what they need. Sometimes they do that in pretty challenging ways. Often what they need is to move. But how often do we flip that script and tell the kids what we need, the adults in the room? And why is it important to do that? So we're going to start with the basics. Dr. B, would you tell us why we would take the time to tell kids, especially littles, what it is that we need?
Absolutely. Thanks, Rachel. And I have to say, I always look at the chat to see where everyone's from and who folks are, who's here. And I was really excited to see we have a social work intern with us today. So someone who's interning, good for you for stretching yourself a little bit with us. So before I jumped into the need piece specifically, if you have joined this series and have been with me at least a handful of times, I think this is our sixth one, then you know everything that I talk about centers back to the trust first method that I teach in the classroom management credential. Trust first is centered on a really simple concept that is called go to solution. And go to solution really just means everything you do is about going to solution. You don't live in the problem. You really figure out how to find solutions, and you're supporting kids in that way too, so they become more independent. Your classroom is more peaceful because they're solving their own issues. You're not having to prescribe every little thing. So let's talk about how this topic today connects to go to solution. The idea of I need and I want hinges on not just the teacher, but also the children learning how to state their needs in a way that is effective. And you are going to do that to be a modeler of going to solution. And by sort of infusing your classroom with this idea that it's okay to tell your neighbor, your teacher, your parent, or for the teacher to tell you what you need or what you want, as long as it's done in a solution oriented way, that's actually not only appropriate, it's preferred. And what'll happen over time is your children will just start to naturally gravitate toward that language, and they'll just solve their own problems most of the time, unless they need your support. But overall, it becomes a very self-driven process. I'm going to get into the nuts and bolts in a little bit, but that kind of paints the overarching picture for you as we get started.
Yeah, it's important to know what your needs are if you're going to get them met. That's kind of the basics of what we're talking about here. So, Ron, let's talk a little bit more about kinesthetic teaching. What does that mean? Why would a teacher use it when they're trying to get everybody's needs met, including their own?
Well, kinesthetic teaching is the teaching that takes the most action. So most of the kids are visual learners, and some kids are tactile kinesthetic learners because nothing makes sense to them until they actually try it. So when I'm teaching a yoga karate class, I teach the high block, and if you've come to my workshops, you've seen it. So we teach the high block where you turn your hand like this, and this is what we tell the kids to do. Now, I work with kids as young as early childhood, 24 months. And these kids, they're putting their hands like this, they're doing this, whatever it is. I can do visual as much as I want until I send my wifey over to stand behind the child and physically move his arm. So she just gently places her two fingers on his wrist and then just goes like this. And we do the high block. So we're doing high block to the sky. And the kid knows, turn the hand up, stop it here, turn the palm. Everything is already there, and the body understands what the person wants, and they do it as opposed to do this, and it makes it more stressful on the adult as opposed to just getting up, walking over. You want a child to do inside the lines, telling the child, circle inside the lines, do this, do that. That doesn't help. Taking their hand and physically going, go here, go here, go here, go here. You can shade around like that. And the kid looks at you like, why don't you say so? But it takes more work. It takes getting up, going to this child, getting up, going to that child. I mean, if you're in, if you're in family child care and your ratios are lower, you can do that. But if you're in a ratio of like 2 teachers to 25 kids, you're going to be sweating. But you're sweating anyway because it's early childhood.
That's a really good point. So that's a really helpful demonstration of what it means to use kinesthetic teaching to get everybody's needs met, to keep the classroom humming along, to help the kid understand what you're trying to teach. So we know that all behavior is communication, right? Including the behavior that is challenging us and that we're struggling to fully understand. So let's get a little bit deeper into how we can use these strategies to help teachers communicate and to understand the children in their care. If you have any specific questions for Deborah on how you would apply this in your classroom, feel free, throw those in the chat. And yes, I'm also a fan of you're sweating anyway. That's what we do. Thanks, Dee Dee. So, Ron, you kind of started off with this a little bit. How about you take us away? Tell us a few other ways. What does this look like in the classroom? How do teachers use this?
Anything that's not working, consider that kinesthetic is the way to go. I even start with kinesthetic movement just because for me it makes more sense. And by the time that I'm done, my neurodivergent exceptional leaders in my classroom are also helping me with the kids. So it seemed to tell what was the exact question again? Because I started going on one direction and then going back. But
You're
so
good.
how do we
You're
use?
good.
I'm sorry because I just thought I answered the question before. So how many of you have voices in your head that while you're talking, they're talking at you, saying different things at you? Anybody? Is it just me?
Well, we've got one in the chat that says, how does this method differ from hand over hand? So what you were just talking about. Let's talk about
Yeah.
what that looks like and how that's useful.
Well, it connects the body. I mean, if you take a hand and even if your own self and move it in a certain direction, your body understands what you want to do. We have so many senses in the body. We have, the feeling. We have all these things that are going through us, and um, moving the kid and putting their foot in a certain direction or teaching them how to do something. It's more effective and it's also more fun. They just came out with another study saying that if you try to teach a child something, it takes them like 400, 500 repetitions to do it. But if they do it through play, it's only 30 or 40 repetitions. So when I was teaching soccer, when I ran a preschool enrichment company, instead of teaching the kids turn your foot and tap the ball, I would have the kids hold on to their leg like it was a golf club and turn the foot out and then gently like they're putting the ball because the kids got also that they've used a putter in miniature golf. So there's a kinesthetic connection with them. And then once they already understand that, then instead of kicking the ball and towing it, which means the ball goes all different directions, They're already comfortable with their foot turned. They know that movement already, and it's something that their body's already used to. Just like when we teach Yogarati, doesn't matter if the kids turn 5, they leave the preschool and they go into jujitsu or mixed martial arts or taekwondo or karate, they already understand what it feels like to do push-ups and squats. They already understand what it feels like to hear and to hear yelling and screaming and to hear that reverb, not sure if I'm saying the right word, on the ears, because some kids are more sensitive than others. So the more that we're in our bodies and the more that we're connected to it, the more we understand things, as opposed to just being told what to do. And then if you tell someone what to do, but they don't do it exactly the way that your brain tells you they should do it, then you look at that person differently, as opposed to, okay, well, this is what I said, this is what you did, so now I need to model it. If I'm teaching a high block song and I see all my students with their hands like this, first thing I've been taught to do is look at my own hand and go, oh, my fingers are open. Now I'm going to close them. Now I'm going to close them. I do it again, and then I see all the kids doing it. And when I model, we're going to talk about it, but when I model things, I don't tell the kids, this is what you do here, I'm modeling it. I do something different, but we'll get to it.
So Deb, why don't you take a stab at this too? How would we use the strategy of stating your needs to help
Yeah,
us with
so this
communication
is
in the classroom?
actually, and communication is a great entree into this, because this really is all about communication that is solution oriented. So just leading with, it's okay to tell me what you need, won't necessarily get you to solution, because most people, not just children, but most people, when they want to tell you what they want or need, they want to say the sentence, I want or I need, and then the next word is a person. So what's important about the sentence that you're going to teach your children, and you're going to teach by modeling, just as Ron was saying, not by telling them I'm modeling, you're just going to do it and they're going to copy you, because that's what kids do. You are going to use the sentence, I want or I need, and you're going to then end it with a what, not a who. So I want you to think about how that translates to a typical situation. So a child is sitting in circle time and his neighbor is poking him, right? If he's going to lean into trust first because you've been modeling this all year, he's going to turn to that child and say, I need to have my body to myself, or I need to have my own space. What does he need? Not, I need you to stop poking me, which is generally what, and really what you're going to hear is not, I need you to stop poking me. They're going to say, he's poking me. And that's what you're really going to hear. And then your whole circle time kind of starts to fall apart. So you're teaching children to state their wants and their needs in a proactive, solution oriented way. You're going to use the same language, which is true throughout Trust First. Everything you're teaching the children, you're doing yourself. And you're also, and that takes care of yourself too. So when a child is talking and you need them to stop talking, your I want or I need statement is not going to say, I want you to stop talking. What you're going to say is, I need silence so that I can finish teaching my lesson. That's a very different message to your children. It's the same end game, but you're going to solution, because that's something that you control. You need silence so that you can finish. And if you're going to go to a fun activity, I need silence so I can get you to your activity tables, or whatever the thing is that you're moving toward. And as you use this language, just like everything else with Trust First, in the beginning, it's awkward and clunky, and you have to think about it. Sometimes you practice it at home when no one's listening so that you can get it smoother. Once you do it often, it will be natural language, just like our current natural language, which tends to be, I need you to stop talking. We do that because we're very who centered when we're asking for our needs to be met. We think someone else needs to do something. And so we push it onto the person, which creates a very non-solution oriented blaming kind of situation, and it ends up creating more conflict. You don't really get to solution that way. So your big takeaway in terms of um, the skill that you're learning today is I want or I need ended with a what, not a who. So that's in a nutshell. And when we come back around for party favors, I'm going to share something else with you.
Oh, that's fantastic. So let's chat for a second, Ron. I want to know if you want to talk specifically about using kinesthetic teaching and helping kids move their bodies and connect to their bodies in regards to behaviors that challenge us. Like, are there
Well,
specific tactics or specific scenarios where that's helpful?
Well, think about yourself, the frustration, or anybody watching, the frustration of you trying to do something, but your body not doing what you wanted to do. You're trying to, put a needle through, the thread or thread through the needle, and you're doing it and you're getting frustrated, or you're trying to hammer a nail, and how many people have hit their hand on it, and then that leads to frustration, and then that leads to the voice in the head going, I can't do this, I can't do that. But if somebody kinesthetically helped you do it, life is just so much easier, and then you don't get frustrated. I mean, for me, if I want to teach a kid how to jump and they're two and they just have to jump over a block or something this high, telling them, showing them, none of that makes a difference. I tell them to put their arms out like this. I put my hands out straight so it goes under their armpits, but it's about a foot out. I bend down with them and I go 1, 2, 3, and then we lift off in the air because I got them securely under their armpits. They understand what it's like to jump and to move, and they land. And we do it a couple of times and then they figure it out themselves. Same thing we're doing a Yogarati board break. I want these kids to hit the board with the flat of their foot. And most kids just, lift up the foot. So step one is having them trust me. They put their hand on my shoulder. Step two is I have the pad and I hold on to their ankle and I go like this and I go like that and I go like that. And then the fourth time they do it by themselves, and then they can choose whether to take their hand off my shoulder or not. So it's just, why do things that could potentially make your day more difficult or give you more stress sometimes when it's just to be right, as opposed to just, physically moving around or getting your other kids to help the other kids by helping them as well. It just, I mean, we're a movement based, but that's a challenge though, especially like I have a workshop that I'm doing at the Head Start conference on Wednesday called "In Like a Caterpillar, Out Like a Butterfly," where I teach people how to for in circle time, do neck stretching, do sciatic stretching, do different types of breathing, spinal stretching, and how to take a rolled up towel, put it in your lower back, and sit against the wall instead of hunching over. All these different things that they could do so that they don't feel pain, upset, anything that just gets in the way. If they can just have a wonderful day and the kids understand what they want, there's such a less of a frustration. What I've seen is sometimes there's teachers that stop their own class because their brain tells them a certain thing. Like I tell people, if something's happening in the classroom, ask yourself 3 questions. Question one, can I still teach? Question two, can he or she still learn? Question three, can everyone else still learn? And we go through those questions in our head. And then if the answer is yes to all of them, we just keep on moving and don't get in the way, because unfortunately, we are sometimes the ones that disrupt our own class because a child's not understand. Oh, man, I got to go and do this and do that. Well, if you would have showed him kinesthetically, or you had one of your neurodivergent exceptional leaders show him this way or that, you wouldn't have to get to that point of frustration.
Really great strategy for helping us to monitor and engage kids in lots of different ways to
Yeah,
hopefully mitigate things before they get frustrating. So that's a great strategy.
absolutely.
All right, y'all. It's party favor time. I'm going to go back to Dr. B. We're going to talk about, we like to give you guys something real quick, a way to test this out, try it in your classrooms that you can do right away. We do have, as Dr. B said, a much longer credential that you can go through with us where you can go deep into these concepts and try them and come back and get some coaching from our experts. Really hope that you'll join us for that. But for right now, we want you to leave today with something you could take back and give a try. So, Dr. B, you first. What do you think?
Well, what I want to do this time, Rachel, and I have not done this so far in these webinars, but I want to play a game. So get ready to use your chat, okay? I'm going to give you the common phrase, and I want you to write in the chat how you would either model or teach children to change their phrasing so that they're telling you or their neighbor what they need with a what, not a who, okay? So we'll start with like easy level. I'm hungry. What would a child say instead of I'm hungry? Yes, you guys are gifted. I need food. I want to eat. I need a snack. They're being very clear about what it is they need or want. Very good. What if a child is sitting in circle time and something happens and they turn to their neighbor and they say, "You're so mean," or "He called me a name"? What is the I need or I want? I need you to be nice. We're gonna flag that. Stop the chat. Let's flag it. Let's think about this. I need what? Remember, there's no who. Leave the who out. I need my personal space. I need kind words. We really teach a lot about respect in Trust First. And so, what kids will ultimately say when they've really dug into all of the skills that we teach is, I need to feel respected. Yes, I need more respect. I need to feel respected, or something like that. And 3-4-year-olds can do this. This is not too advanced for them. And let's try one more. And this one I was going to share a picture with you. So you're lining up and someone says to the person in front, you cut me. You cut me off. What are we saying? I wonder if I can share my screen. Can I? Oh, good. I'm going to try this. My screen is really messy, so be patient with me, guys. All right, I want you to see, this is actually a board from a Trust First classroom, and the teacher leaves this up. So you'll see this little part right here. It says, I need, I want, I would like. And then you cut is marked off, and instead go to solution. I would like my place back. Very clear. I would like my place back. There's no blaming. There's no punishment. It's go to solution. Get out of the problem and go to solution. So that is your party favor. The thing about Trust First is truly one of the most simplistic ways of creating a peaceful classroom. There is nothing terribly complicated about it, except you have to shift your language from what is sort of typical in our culture to what might feel a little wonky for a bit, but once you do it, it will feel very natural. So your big challenge this week can be, can you go into your classroom tomorrow and use I need or I want statements just yourself, ending without a who, you're ending with a what. Try it yourself to begin with. Once you get the hang of it, pay attention, see if you've got some little mimickers in your room. You probably will have one or two who will listen to you and just automatically do it. Then you can be really deliberate and teach it. And you can write it on the board like that if you want, or you can just practice it. And one of the really good tools that you can take with you with this is it's always okay to do a do-over. It's always okay to say, I want you to be quiet. Oh, wait, I'm going to do that again. And I'm going to go to solution. I need quiet so we can get to art time. So you are modeling for them that they don't have to be perfect either. You can always have a do-over. So that's your party favor for today.
Fantastic. And I'm going to tell you all, that is so much harder than it seems. I catch myself going, I need ye, 1 second. What do I actually need? All the time. All the time. But it works so much better because once I've set that bar in my room, we all live up to it. It's really, really great. Ron, anything else you want to give people as something to like think about, try out in their classroom?
Well, I when I model things for kids that we talked about before, I don't like to create a learning environment. I feel that whenever we're told we're about to learn something, our inner child goes, "I don't wanna," and then just shuts that off, which is why I allow no learning at all at my workshops or keynotes. And I'd rather do something where if I'm frustrated or if I don't understand how to do something, I'll get the attention of the class and then I will work through the frustration out loud. I may even close my eyes and take a couple of breaths. And then at the end of it, as loud as possible, going, I'm really glad that I tried this or that. And then I'm done. I don't even put anything out there like, you could want to try it, you should try it. Because these kids are like, you're trying to teach us something again. So I think that creating an example, like you said, there's always going to be one or two that are going to like monkey see, monkey do and watch. And then they in turn could get even more recognition and acknowledgement from you when they start doing the things that you're teaching them to do with the other kids, which is why like I love my behavior mastery system, because by the time we're done, the neurodivergent exceptional kings and queens of the classroom are helping the other kids, moving around, and just talking about needs. One of the things that we don't really do a lot, and I show in my videos, we don't ever teach the kids, whenever you need attention, raise your hand and go, "I need attention." So they have to now figure out how to get attention, how to be seen, how to be heard without us ever doing it. So that's why I recommend stop your class every half hour, 45 minutes. If you know you have a kid that's going to end up being in the WWE or America's Got Talent or doing something performance wise, whatever, who wants attention? And then everybody look at Sienna, and we're looking at Sienna, and 10 seconds, 15 seconds, blah, blah, blah. But then the attention is gotten. She's seen by everybody. Her dopamine is through the roof. And then we're good. And that's the important part, is to actually ask the kids, like, what do you need? What do you want? And then noticing also when we get triggered, because if you're a person that needs to be seen, needs to be heard, and haven't figured out a way, and you don't feel like you're seen or heard by anybody, it's going to be hard to do that, because your inner child's going to be like, if someone's not looking at you, they're not looking at me, they're not. So just noticing what things come up and modeling things for the kids where it's just something that was awesome. You learned how to do it, and then you leave it, and then watch in the background how, they slowly start to try it.
Yeah. The need for attention is one that I've struggled with in the classroom and at home, with the one who just whatever it takes, whatever it takes. But if you literally give them permission, ask for that in a specific way and give them something that fills that bucket, boy, it stops an awful lot, because now they trust you to give what they're
Yeah,
looking for. So that's
it's
an
it's
amazing tool.
amazing. Yeah.
Give it a try, everybody. If you're looking for more, we hope that you will join us in our classroom management credential this fall. That link is in the chat. We will also put it in the follow-up email. So those of you who are looking to go deeper with this, to really practice these strategies, it's not a panacea. It's not going to solve everything, but boy, does it help to just kind of level set and create that positive environment we all want in the classroom. And it takes practice. It's not like you're going to go in tomorrow and change everything. It's a culture. Culture takes time to build. So we hope you'll come build culture with us in the fall. If we have education managers or others in here who purchase training for your whole team, we do have a group rate. So if you sign up 10 or more people, you do get a discount on this as well. And it is awesome to learn this with a group of teachers so that you can all learn and practice together. As I said, this is the final webinar in this series for this year. We will be back with some additional strategies next fall, so keep an eye out for those. That is it for us today. We hope you guys will see us at the national conference coming up in a few weeks. Ron will be there, as he said, with a session, and also a little something special that you'll be hearing about soon. Just a little. So thanks so much,
Little bit.
everybody, for being here. It's a wonderful world. You're a wonderful you. Have a wonderful day, Head Start. We appreciate you.